Not as just let them run their mouth long enough, and eventually they'll show you something. They will show you something, and then you will know who you're dealing with. So I jumped on the Twitter this afternoon. They're on about something that this Kim Ledbetter person, who I do not think much of. I don't see how she. I think she's one of these people who is so unqualified to be an MP that it's an insult that she ever ran for office. And she ran for office because in the ward she ran in, her sister was murdered by a mental patient. And that's who she is. She's Jo Cox's sister. And that's all she'll be. She even introduced herself as Jo Cox's sister, the MP who died. The MP who was murdered. And they made all that, her and the likes of Jess Phillips and Rayner. They made that all about dangerous right-wing extremism. And I'm like, no, just read the file. Please, just read the stories. This is about dangerous schizophrenic who's lost it and knows he's lost it. And the authorities still won't do anything to help him. So with his genius schizo brain works out, right, I need to go out and get myself arrested and then I'll get the treatment I need because I'm losing my mind. This guy had been most of his life institutionalised. He'd do anything to get back in the Nutter ward where he doesn't have to face the realities of life. So he goes out and kills his MP in what could be seen as evil genius target selection. Well, everyone's listening to me now. So it's like this was a story about how dangerous people could be, and that society should take notice of the people it's already decided are insane when they say, "Look, I'm losing control. Please help me." No, I'm sorry, we can't do anything for you. Cuts. I'm a dangerous person. I'm a dangerous person and I'm losing it. Please help me. And he eventually goes and does a murder. And the thing that was stuck in his head when he went and did the murder was, there's hotels full of, even in the town he lived in, there's hotels full of migrants and they can get all the care and attention they need. I need urgent mental health treatment and I don't get nothing. So he kills Jo Cox and he's saying, Britain first. British first. Or to that ilk, is what he said when he killed her. Shot and stabbed. Britain first. So they made it all about Britain first. That right-wing sort of Facebook group that masquerades as a movement or party. They actually went after them. Hang on a minute, this is a failure by the NHS and the council and the like to recognise it's a dangerous situation that was about to happen. Weird that, because when you, I was listening to that Astor woman, she's called Astor, talking to the Jolly Heretic. And she was talking about, she can't find any record in the system of that Axel Rudicabana existing. And they're like, he's been kicked out. He was in kids' prison. He was in secure units. And he'd been in one and he'd freaked out the staff there. They couldn't deal with him. Sometimes I point to things and I'm like, no, think about it. They couldn't deal with him. He was too fucked up with his mouth. This is before he did murders. So they kicked him out saying, well, it might just be the staff. Might be the staff that's the problem and not him. So then they sent him to another secure unit and he did the same. And when once he'd done it twice, where they just couldn't handle him, right, out of the shit he were talking, they sent him home, did nothing, forgot about him. About a couple of weeks later, he'd done a massacre. And the thing is, it's like the details of that massacre are out now. You can go and read about what he did to them kids. Can you imagine what the sight might have been to see a 6-year-old girl who'd been stabbed 116 times? 116 times. You're still stabbing them long after they were dead. So how long did this rampage go on for? something that we, you know. They say that Hero stopped him. How long did he just do whatever he wanted? How long before someone stopped him? And they knew about him. They knew about him. He'd been stopped from doing the same thing only a week before, and they still didn't do anything about him. Why? Because the parts of our society charged with taking care of really dangerous people couldn't deal with him. So they sent him home to his parents who couldn't deal with him either. So it's like you can put the blame squarely on the government for that crime. Squarely, you can put it at their doorstep. It's like this killer. Hard to hold him accountable because he's an animal. You're not. You're not animals, are you? And you knew all about this. You just let it happen. Your 30 grand a year you get as a psychological or a psychiatric sort of expert or carer or nurse is not worth enough money to you. It's not worth enough. The job is not worth enough for you to deal with that idiot's mouth all day, every day. So you just let him go. How about that? It's like these fucking cases. And then you've got idiots who don't know anything about the mentally ill. I know a lot about the mentally ill. People might say, well, you are mentally ill. It's like, well, okay, believe that. And then understand why I know a lot about the mentally ill. And as to where you do not underestimate these people or belittle the shit that they're in. Because they'll prove you wrong. They'll just prove you don't know what the fuck you're talking about as to how dangerous people can be. How dangerous people can be when they're desperate. Now, we've created a situation in this country where all of the schizos and the like who are on the sick, because this... We'll have this fair talk about it, right? There are people in this country who are useless. And the way the laws are set up, if you were to employ them, they would just exploit them. And they couldn't not do it because they've got personality disorders. No boundaries. So if you force these people into work, they'll just be fired. Or if they don't, they'll just cause so much trouble that they'll damage productivity wherever they go to work. So our society, and I understand this as realistically, they have to abandon some people and say, look, just here's your money. This is what we can pay you. Now fuck off. You got enough to live on there. Don't be desperate. Don't fall into the wrong people. Understand you're fucking sick, right? Stay home and feel sorry for yourself, because the alternative is hell, terror, horror. These people are thugs and bullies, but when faced with bigger thugs and bullies, become people who get used tremendously badly. When they're the sort of people who'll do that, oh, I'll do anything for anyone, me, and get used. So you don't want the mentally ill in the workforce. You need to have a way of saying, right, you just go home and don't cause no trouble. So do you know what it's like when someone... Do you know what it's like when someone in your HR department lets a complete fucking loon get past them? It's happened where I've worked in the past. And it's like, you get it where a young girl starts. There was a young girl once that got a job at her place and she was a nutcase. She was a lunatic. She was about 19. And I just had to put it out because there was an order coming through, and this girl was a trainee, and she was in this bank of trainees. And I'm like, look, they're having you putting orders on for practice. There's an order coming through with my name on it. You don't put that through for practice because you haven't been trained how to put that kind of order on. It's a complicated order. So when that fax comes to you, if it comes to you, do not put it on the system. I need to do it. So I'm like, as soon as it comes, hand it to me. Because they were processing all the orders for practice. Real ones. My order came through and that idiot to her face who I told, just hand me the order, do not put it on the system when it comes across. She just did it. Just slapped it through. She caused, in the end, kind of a pile up in the warehouse where I had to go down myself and explain to everybody what was going on and get the stuff back off the wagon and things like that. So I get shit then. John, where have you been all afternoon? So, well, I told her not to put an order on, and she did. And the lads in the warehouse, they produced all the paperwork for it. And the larger items, they've put on the back of a truck with a forklift. The way that the place worked, it was just the time of day it came, not particularly busy, and it was just immediately processed. They got it off the printer in the warehouse, and they set about doing the job because they had men available. So it caused a load of problems. And then also, because I didn't put the order on, all the modifications that needed doing to all the equipment didn't get sent through to the tech guys. And the tech guys were sat on their hands all afternoon because I already booked them. You know, so I've got it where I've got my guy in the tech department, Anton the bodybuilder. What a fucking great bloke Anton was. He's like, John, I've got 3 lads here waiting to do this urgent job that you had coming through. And we haven't received it. And I'm like, yeah, I know, it's on the back of a wagon. I'm going to go down and have a word and sort it out. I'm trying to get it stopped. There's nothing in the system for me to stop it. I have to go out and credit the whole fucking thing and then manually go and get the guys to get the stuff off the truck. It was a fucking disaster, right? And it was... I'm like, why did you do this to this person? Like, why? I told you, when that fax comes through for me, don't process it to hand it to me. I'm sat on the desk in front of you. Why didn't you just hand it to me? And she just grinned. Right? She'd been there about 2 weeks, right? And I hadn't found out then what other people that who worked there knew. Whereas a friend of mine who was a character, good-looking lad, and in his own way, quite adorable a person. Good lad. He's now, you know, he's a big boss at a different firm now. Most people who know him actually love him because he's so smart and so fair and so funny. He's like Middleton genius, like Steve Coogan genius, right? Danny. She takes a shine to Danny the minute that she walks in the place, and she's like, oh, I like the look of you. And he kind of liked the look of her. So he took her, right? He took her to a pub after work. He said, do you want to come for a drink? And we used to have like our firm used to have kind of its own pub, if you know what I mean. Our pub we used to go in. And he took her in there, right? He drove her there. And he parked up on the Albany car park, and she got out of the car, right? And she squatted down and had a piss right there in the car park. So my mate's like, oh, I ain't never seen anything like this in my life. The signs are that if she's capable of doing that, what else is she capable of doing? She just squats down and thinks it's funny. Just pulls her panties to one side and has a piss right in front of him on car park. So he's like, okay, we need to be stepping back from this and being like, okay, you seem great, but okay, that's fine. We'll just leave it alone. Oh, God, she never left him alone for fucking weeks. Never left him alone for weeks, and suddenly he's all the bad guy. Kim, she was called, like this one. We used to call her Dim Kim. So there's something seriously wrong with her. She ain't just stupid. She used to get so angry with you that she'd shake. Run her mouth. It's like I'd never had a job before. She'd been taken on by as a salesperson by her firm off one of her bosses who thought she was fit. So literally, the guy who gave her the job's like, I might have a chance of shagging her. And I'm to the guy, I'm like, what have you done giving her a job? She's a fucking liability. Right? Completely useless and making trouble. And trying to turn people on other people. I've got it in for you, I'm going to get you. But she got me right at the start. You don't tell me what to do. I'll fuck your day up. Cost you money. Mess everybody about. And then when we come back, it's what are you playing at? It's like, oh, it's you who's got a problem. It's like, you don't let nutters in your business. Do not let them in. Do you know what happened to her in the end? She got the sack. Why did he sack her? Right? Leaving work one day, she went off the car park, down onto the long road. It's like the first building that was built on a new commercial park, so the rest of the place is like a building site, the rest of the site. So there's a long road going right through it. She got to enter roundabout, and she had a chance of getting straight out, and she missed it. And why did she miss it? Because there was no guy crossing the road. So she slowed down and then looked at the old guy crossing the road, and then she went, oh no, just fuck him. And she just killed him. She just outright murdered him. Flat out, sped up, killed the guy, and carried on driving. Like vehicular manslaughter. Oh, she murdered him. She's murdered him with a car. And there's people who saw it. You're like, yes, there are some people in the world who are exceptionally dangerous. I know one woman who's on the permanent sick, who's likely getting her pip stopped, who's never been charged with any crime, ever. She's always been arrested and just let go home when they really let the police know what her mental health status is, and they do some research and find out that she's been in this police station 20, 30 times. Sometimes she's making a spurious accusation about someone. Other times she's attacked someone. She's a bit stabby. But she's never gone to court for stabbing somebody. The police have been involved every time she's done it. But no, they're like, oh no, she's mentally disturbed. No, we just send her home. The police send her case to somebody out at the council, and some council goes, what happened? Oh, poor you, what happened? And this woman's ruthless. She's someone who's got, at the time I got to know her, she had like 8 different dating apps open. And she was having them turn up at her house and screw her. And her house was like, sometimes she used to make videos and put them on YouTube. And you could see the pile of dirty washing in the you know, behind her you can see what's going on. Behind her, you could see piles of dirty washing. You could see in the background piles of washing up. Cats. So people would think, you're on here, online dating, oh yeah, and she's saying all the right things, and she's like, I will fuck the shit out of you. Sends the nudes, sends the homemade pornography, and they go round her house, and the first thing that it hit would be the fucking smell of that great big pile of washing, and that fucking cat doing whatever it likes, and that sink that hasn't been touched for fucking weeks. Place literally one great big fucking cobweb. And you turn up and you get there and it's the matter. She's like, oh, hello. And you get there and you look at the place, you go, oh my fucking God. The floor of this place, we would never get to see the floor. I only imagine what it's like as to there hasn't been a vacuum cleaner running that place for a year, 2 years. There'd be food on the floor and everything. The place be just like a fucking like like a tipper truck just fucking exploded outside. The windows were open and all kinds of everything stuck to the fucking wall. And she would have the blokes coming round. I've got problems with the guy over the road. He's bugging me. He keeps coming over and he keeps trying to make friends with me. And it's like, I'm like, people don't just do things like that. What have you done in order to provoke this guy? I just let him lick me out the once. Oh, did you? No, he won't leave me alone. He keeps knocking on my door and he wants to be my friend. And there's something strange about him. I'm going to have to get something done about him. And what did he do? He'd had oral sex with her not like 4 or 5 days before, where she just let him in off the street and said she propositioned him and he took her up on it. And then days later she's like, that terrible man. So it's like, nutters. Nutters. It's like they are people who, you get them interacting with anyone over anything, they'll make a drama out of it. And as well as that, if the nutters on the sick, they've only got certain people who engage with them, so they then become the people that they fuck with. Mate, you the stars in their show. So there are people in this country who should not be anywhere near anyone's workplace because they'd be destructive to it. Like, yeah, he was like, well, I'll give him a job that's just manual. Oh, no. Having started working there within 3 days, they'd be fucking the guy who drives the van. There's a reason why loads of people are banged up at home. Nutters, right? And these same nutters who are, they've also got the problem of being narcissistic in nature, the shielding of fake self-esteem that keeps them going, so they don't really have to face up to their part in the way that their lives have turned out, and as to where they've kind of made themselves crazy in life, got off on the wrong foot, but then just run with it. Never stopped. Everyone's got a choice. I don't care how crazy you are. You got a choice. You can just stay at home. You can just stay at home and shut the fuck up. Anyone can do that. It's like, you have got a choice. So there is some accountability there as far as I'm concerned. It's like, you could have changed the path away from this any day. It's like people break heroin addiction. Something fucking serious that's really messing with them. They break that. They get out of it. They stop. It's like, most people, I'd say, right, who fallen into heroin, but there's more people got off it than stayed on it forever. Miles more, by a factor of about 10. So people can do it. They can change. I don't think anyone's ever completely fogged. You can change. It's been done. It's been done. It's like I've known people who will be absolutely terrible, but not past the point of no return. You know what I mean? And they stop being the dicks they were, and they fucking learn. It's that people get older, and as well as that, they get bereaved. Bereavement has the possibility of always the possibility of being a life-changing event, one way or another. So they live and they learn, and they live and they, in essence, in the end, become wise people who've learned the fucking hard way, the really hard way. It's like, if only I'd learned how to keep my fucking mouth shut when I was a kid. If only I'd learned, right, that, I had people there to actually set me straight, so I had something when I weren't talking. When I was talking, I wasn't talking like a dick. They get it. Years later, they'll work it out. I was, when I was at school, everyone, I'm not talking about me, I'm talking about person. They tried to teach me, but I took it all as a punishment. I saw myself as a prisoner of war at school, and it was just time spent in prison that I had to get away from. because I had psychological damage the day I arrived in the place and got off on the wrong foot, thinking, oh, well, this is some kind of punishment that I'm forced to do. So you turn people into prisoners of war, and if you don't address that properly, if you don't get to what the problem with that is, they skate all the way through school. And by the time they're 13 and 14, they're just unteachable. So they go to school, and the best thing the teachers work out that the best thing they can do is just avoid them. And when they're avoiding them and their education goes to shit, the pupil thinks they're clever because they've got the teacher in the pocket. It's like I've done the screw in prison. I'm on easy time, and you don't realise this is your education. This is school. This is your big chance. It's rubbish, right? But this is your big chance. People be trying to tell you that and tell you that and tell you that and tell you that. They end up skate through life, and then it's a matter of shit. Do you know that initial mental illness I had that made me think of school as like punishment and prison? Took it out into the world with me, didn't I? That kind of thinking goes working somewhere, sees it as a prisoner of fucking war camp, starts to sabotage the business they're working for, because that's the attitude they bring to it. I'm only here for the money. As are we all, but, you know, we expect a certain level of performance and behaviour so you don't try and destroy the place. You're not costing us more money than you're making us. Like nutters with chips on their shoulder who see work as some kind of slavery. They bring that with them. They bring their own slavery with them, and then suddenly everything's slavery. Because they're people who've been used. No, we'll not be used again. We'll not be fooled again. You're not turning me into a slave. I'm rebelling. No, this is work. You just do this and just go. We don't really give a fuck about this. What you're on about. Just keep your mouth shut. You give fucking lunatics like that the cards of political correctness, and you just turned them into like street magician fucking idiots. As to where, so we're going to have a problem, are we? Giving nutters weapons. And it's like, John Boy, what's with the talk about nutters, mate? As to say that there's certain people that, yes, put them on the sick and give them the highest rate of PIP because they're doing the least amount of harm. That's the best way to spend money on them that doesn't see them make the world even more fucked up. Let the nutters stay on the sick. Because with the ideas in their head as to where at the moment you've got a government taking the money off them and telling them that the problems are not unsurmountable, or even not even problems, because you're dealing with people who are fatalistic in their thinking and absolute. So that's not hyperbole when I say that, that's how they're thinking. They're cutting me money off, they're making little of my suffering, and now this idiot wants to open the door to my end. This idiot wants me dead. This assisted suicide thing that's going through at the same time with all these great big gaping fucking holes in it is to give me the chance to die as opposed to live on 80 something pound a week. And then you've got all this extra gaslighting on the same group of people. All this extra gaslighting. Where the likes of you fucking twats who are on Talk TV who've never worked a day in their lives where it's been a matter of what time do you call this? No fucking... These guys are straight out of university into journalism and been at it for 20 and 30 years and are massive big shots. Just the other day I was sat on the beach in Mexico and they're saying that people who are on benefits get like all the bills paid for. And I'm like, what? Real? Honestly? You get a reduction of about 95% of your council tax. It's good. No, 90. So your council tax goes down from being like 1,200 quid a year to 200 quid a year. You get that, You also get like 95% of your rent paid. But your rent can be fucking loads of money, can't it? So mine isn't that bad because I live in a poor part of the country, so it's a matter of not a significant super amount of money I get because I'm on benefits now. I think I get about 420 quid towards my rent, and my rent is a bit more than that. It's more like 130, and I don't get anything else. Oh, free prescriptions. That's it. In theory, you can get free dental care, but it take a very, very long time for you to be able to first find a dentist that will do the work. Because dentists are going down in number as the populations are increasing with all these new influx of brand new people that turn up every fucking day. So, in theory, you get free dental treatment, but you don't. In theory, you can get an eye test for free, and you can get a discount on your glasses, but it's worthless these days because glasses are not that expensive anymore. A pair of glasses now costs about the same as what a pair of glasses cost 20 years ago. So you get a free eye test. No, you don't get all kinds of things for free. You don't get your bills paid. You don't get your gas paid. You don't get your electric paid. You don't get anything like that paid for. No one does. You don't get your broadband paid for. You don't get your phone paid for. No. No, them are not things you get on benefits. You get a reduction in your council tax and rent. And that's it. You don't get anything else. Or prescriptions. You've got people dicking around talking on Talk TV saying these people have got disposable income of like £400 or £500 a month. And it's no. Out of that, they've got to buy everything. Except council tax and rent. Everything comes out of that. It's like, have you seen how much it costs for a chippy tea? To say a staple of something that'll you can enjoy, something you can plan to do that's not a clever thing because you spend a fortune eating fast food. But, maybe as a treat, maybe once a month, maybe once a fortnight, you think, I just fancy fish and chips. You're paying a tenner for fish and chips, £10. And they're talking about, these people have got massive disposable incomes from just a chippy, not a venue. £10 fish and chips. Like we all know, we live in quite in some ways cheap, but other ways very expensive. Everybody gets the money's worth out of their internet connection. Good value. And cheap. That's cheap. That's good. It's like £1 a day. It's never been more than £1 a day, really. For years. But it's like, no, you go out and try shopping around. I went with, I tested me, I had to give myself a decent test on Thursday. I had, went to see the heart specialist nurse with results of an echocardiogram I've had. And my heart ejection fraction has gone up to 50%, and they're like, this is big, this. I'm not nowhere near out of trouble because my problem is a fucked up arrhythmia, and half of my heart's missing. But say the heart muscle, building up the muscle of the heart. So they're like, whatever you're doing to recover, keep doing it. Whatever it is, keep doing it. What are you doing, John? Doing a lot of talking. And taking the dog for a walk for about 3-4 minutes, three times a day. That's all I'm doing. But also, I do have my trip to the supermarket. That's all I do. I'm not in that great shape, but they're like, part of the problem is your weak heart, and we appear to have made massive progress on that. So they're like, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. So I decided to test myself. I went with my dad. My dad was fancying swapping out his car. And I went with him and just talked him out of it. Because his car he's got is actually quite good. And you'd struggle to replace it with something as good for a lot more money. I'm walking around the car forecourts and I'm like, seems the magic number these days for a quality used car, like Motor Point. Used to deliver cars to them. Motor Point. The magic number for a car is like, you're talking for something reasonable, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, £25,000. What? Yeah, for something reliable. If you wanted a decent car because you had to maybe commute to work, so you needed something reliable, something good, and you needed something that could do mixed shit, so it'd be reasonably economical. You're talking about 25 grand's worth of car, and you'd be like, it's something you say you're going to put some miles on it, you got to do some range, so you find yourself doing 100 mile a day. You need a proper car that's going to be decent. Yeah, 25,000 quid. It's like, that's a little bit out of range of anybody who's a working person, let's say. And we'll be talking the working person in this country, on average, is likely at the moment, by that one average, is it the median or the mean? One of them. The average wage is minimum wage. Minimum wage, you would never get enough money in your lifetime to be able to afford to buy yourself a reasonable car. So you could go and do a different job. Forget it. You're trapped. You are completely outside of that. You can never do it. You will never be able to pay for your accommodation, which is a complete rip-off in this country. We have fake economic growth for 25 years and more, probably since 2000. We've had a country that's showing economic growth year on year on year, and all that's actually happened is that everyone's fucking rent's gone up. But they're calling it economic growth. That's what's gone on. Everybody's paying a hell of a lot more to live wherever they live than they ever have before, unless they've owned the place. Own the place is not a position that so many people find themselves in. People who own the place are the people in this society who do have money, who do have disposable income, who can buy a £25,000 car, who can afford to go away on holiday as well. It's because they don't pay a mortgage. So you've got a massive situation in this country with a huge property have and have not, as to where you've got one group of people who've got loads of disposable income because they don't pay a mortgage, and then everyone else who does, who's fucked at tune of, we're talking about between £600 and £2,000 a month they need to earn in the same economy as the rest of us. It's like no one's getting paid enough to live in this country now. No one's getting paid enough. And you look at the folk at the bottom and say, he has more disposable income than me. It's like, no, his disposable income at the bottom's probably about 25 quid that he can afford to spend on a few pints, maybe. Probably about 25, 30 quid he's got to spend on himself. Or whatever you're liking is. My personal thing is smoking. Smoking is my only luxury item in life, unless you want to count the internet, which is well, it's there with that. Only two luxuries, mate: broadband internet, and collectible toy collection. Let's not forget me love of collectibles as well. My collectibles things. It's become a thing. It's become a kind of hobby. So them are the things I've got. I've got a hobby of collecting mint condition toys, and never opening the box. And I've a hobby of doing that. That I've fallen into as being, hey, you know what? I like that. I found something. I found something on the internet that I just saw as like, if I'd have been 9, This would have been like the greatest fucking thing you could ever have bought me. So I'm sat there looking at it, and I was on my fuck it, I'm buying that. What, John? So, yeah, fuck it, I'm having a look at it. That'd have been the greatest gift anyone could have ever given me if I was 9 years old. I'd thought that was the greatest thing in the world. So I bought it. And it turned up. And my plan was I was just going to give it my nephew for Christmas. And I showed it his mum, and she's like, do not give my son that for Christmas. That's too big, too expensive, and it'd probably be better that another kid got it because he's more into his games and his fucking VR headsets and things like that. So he likes toys. He's 8 or something, 7 or 8. He likes toys, but he's more into his games. So I'm like, right, I'll keep it. Right? Started collecting them. Started accumulating them. Like, oh, fuck it. And I think about it, and I'm like, well, these are reasonably hard to come by. Not easy to find at a cheap price, but sometimes are. And I'm thinking about it at the end and thinking, well, accumulation of my collection of sort of toys as a hobby, as almost as decoration. I think about it as to wouldn't that be the greatest fucking charity donation I could give once in the future? Maybe next Christmas or something. As to when one of the local guys who's doing something, who's trying to do something, you know, for the kids who are a bit poor, I'll just give them away. Just fire them. I say, yeah, these are brilliant. Give these to kids. So I sat and I'm doing it. I'm sat on it like that. I'm thinking, yeah, they'd be that my collection of sort of Star Wars toys here would be just an awesome thing to give to one of these. You know, people don't, the shit that gets donated for the poor kids for Christmas. Oh, I used to be a poor kid, and I used to really be disappointed that they'd never be out good. It'd all be just absolute shit that some kid had grown out of, and it would never be new, and it would never be what I wanted, and it'd be a matter of hand-me-down toys, the shittest thing in the world, because basically there's somebody else's discarded shit. It's never the good stuff. And I'm thinking, fuck it, I'll give them the good stuff. I'll do it. I'll hand them over probably to like Billy Howarth, right? And have a stupid photograph on Facebook of me shaking hands with Billy, handing over like the largest fucking collection of brand new, like modern day Star Wars stuff. But like, this is for the kids. Just be straight up say, well, I've had my fun, I've been collecting them, and I've just been looking at them because I don't get them out of the box because that turns it into a toy. At this moment in time, it's almost an investment item. I could definitely get back every penny I spent on them and more because they become scarce, limited run things. So I could always get my money back, but that would mean, you know, other people for me and many couriers coming picking up many boxes from me. Don't need it. I'm just going to take the lot of them come Christmas and just hand the whole fucking lot over to local. Suss out the local charity that's doing something that well, you know, it's going somewhere meaningful. It's not going to be resold for money. It's not going to be like donating it to a hospice and then finding it on eBay to turn it into cash. It'd be no. Do these kids want toys for Christmas? See, I've got some for you. They'll fucking think those are brilliant. So I've been waiting like that as to I'm gonna accumulate these as sat on top of me great big shelf there. There's about fucking 30 if I piled up to some. Piled up right to the ceiling. It's like, yep, I'm going to just donate them all at the end of the year. And I think that with as that in mind as to where they're ending up, I'm looking at them like, oh, what a fucking treat. And it'll all be born of what I felt like when I opened the great big box with this one that I'd ordered, because I'm like, I want to have a look at this. I'm not going to get to a shop to see one to have a look at one. I want to have a look at this. This looks fucking amazing. So I ordered it, and I'm like, yeah, it's amazing, this. Started accumulating them. For a kid on Christmas morning to get something that's awesome when they weren't expecting it. Just awesome. Like, whoa. See, it's like, in my way, it's like, in that way, spirited. As to, John, you're buying toys, you're 50-year-old. It's like, yeah, I know. But I do, at the other end of it, think, yeah, but what I do with them, when I've accumulated enough of them, what am I going to do with them? And then it's like, yeah, give them to kids. Make it so when, you know, for kids, they put the Christmas, the Santa's grotto on, right? When they put the Santa's grotto on and Santa gives them a present, it'd be like, Santa gives them something that's really worth having, but like, oh, something, Santa gives them something cool. Yeah, I'd be for that. And you get me thinking about to me, and you know, and that'd be, to me, as a kind of devilment. There'd be a payoff. I'd be like, yeah, how cool's that? Well, that enthusiasm I have for something like that as a kid, it's a very, very nostalgic kiddie thing to do, to pick up mint conditioned brand new toys, and it's to do with that. It's to do with that actual nostalgia. It's like, I'm willing to give that as a gift, understanding that we all can appreciate its value. So for me, it's kind of devilment. It's like, you get to feel how I felt when you get something on Christmas Day when you're a little kid that you're like, they exceed your expectations. That's like, whoa. You give someone that gift by surprising them with something. So it's a matter of, to me, that's devilment. That's the way I am. I like the idea of it. And then we come to this person. See how I touched on a humanist thing? We talk about the bad and the good. The nostalgia, the idiosyncrasies of of sensibilities and emotional instability, and the fact that certain people in life can't behave themselves, and that is a terrible curse that they've had afflicted upon them before they inflicted it upon themselves. So it's not a free pass, but you can understand that some people have had it difficult in life. You can understand that there are those who have difficulties dealing with life, as we've all had difficulties at certain times dealing with life. You've got people who fail to start in life. You've got others who've got off on the wrong foot. You've got others who've been struck down by illness. And it'd be a matter of, there's room for everybody. We're not really yet for killing people because they're fucking not economically viable, are we? Or are we? Now, someone's found this clip of Kim Ledbetter, and it's not that she's not being gotcha'd here at a 13-second clip. She's not being gotcha'd. This is a statement she made, right? And I'm thinking about all these good things, you know, and the bad things, you know, understanding we can all have a laugh, can't we? And bad things happen to people, and people make bad decisions all the time. You got it worse. Some people in the world are so dangerous, it doesn't matter how much money you'd pay someone, they wouldn't want to sit in a room with them for half an hour, having them talk their Rwandan genocide bullshit. You know, you wouldn't want to put up with it. I understand this. But it's like, the world she lives in, a member of the Bravest. She's a lesbian, therefore I know type. Personal fitness instructor. See, fitness instructor. It's like, oh shit! It's like I totally outstrip her, don't I, for experience and of the nitty gritty. You've been a student and a fitness instructor. It's like you're someone who fucking hangs around in gyms and the like. The real world entered your fucking entered your realm and smashed you in the face when a lunatic murdered your sister in a very calculated way, as to where her brain cannot process that level of nuance as to someone could be so. As to where now you have a morbidity that's crept into this woman, a morbidity as to where she'd see you dead for your own good. A morbidity's got into her as to where she's become death-centric. Not unusual. You get it. Whereas you get those people who she is a member. You just have to look at her to understand what club she's in. And she doesn't take any trouble with her appearance because she's perfect to start with. She's in the club of I'll kill myself, isn't she? She is of the suicidal ideation decard game, as to where it's death is something that's close, it's something that's always involved. She strikes me as being in a way a bit like that Sinead O'Connor where she were always doing it. She passed her suicidal ideation on to her kids, as to where she'd be like, I know you've got needs, but I've got needs too, and I want to kill myself. Therefore, your needs go secondary to my terrible despair. And she ruined her own life with that. She ruined her own kids with that. And she's of that spirit. Morbidity's crept in. It's the weaponization of suicide as a means of blackmail amongst. She's a lesbian who's rah of the committee. You know, she's a long-term member of the club. That be a almost primary weapon of that nature. A psychopath, in essence, the sexually damaged psychopath. The D card is like the race card, but the D card usually guarantees or will guarantee a government response, which is why I say to people, if you are in terrible despair, do not imply on social media that you are reaching for the suicide button. Don't do it, because those out in the world think they might be doing you a favour by reporting it to the police and the social services, and then suddenly you have them in your life, and because you've made statements as to say, I'm no longer in control, I'm having these terrible suicidal thoughts, they got a duty of care. So someone mouths off, next thing you got the government in your life. Don't do it. If you want to play games with people being in terrible despair and want them to hurt or something like that, don't play the D card. Because you open the door to having the government in your life in a big way. In a big way. I mean, she's of this circle of this club who play the kid. I don't like to call it anything other than the D card. I don't even refer to it. I'll talk to it as a D card. I won't go into the niceties of threatening to kill oneself as to hold oneself hostage, to make the people that love you hurt as a kind of punishment. So you can threaten yourself with harm to hurt others by holding a gun to your own head and have them say, please don't kill yourself. It's a game. That there are those who play it. I call that whole thing, the D card, and never try, because I'm directly addressing it today, but generally I would just say, well, just play the D card. And I understand that it's a move that's got power to threaten to kill oneself to get what one wants. It's a very potent weapon, and since in the days of social media, it's become even more powerful because you can broadcast this D signal and find millions of people with it. Find millions of people with it. So it's like, she's of that ilk who play that game, because that's very much the trans game, isn't it? The trans game. If you don't let them do what they want, they will kill themselves. Is always the leverage that the trans have used. And you know, you see it so much these days. They're beyond that. They're more about threats of violence. Real, threats of deaths and violence is the game now. But one of them was, once upon a time it was, I'll kill myself if you do this. That was the threat. Now they just say, I'll kill you. So it's like that trans game has moved since it's gone from being deeply disturbed, sexually broken people to now narcissistic cyberbullies who see it as a means to punish. Their attitude's more towards I'll kill you as opposed to I'll kill myself, which was always the game that the trans played before. We have to give them we have to give them trans care because it's life-saving. From what death do they face? Oh, death at their own hand. It's life-saving treatment, because if we don't give them what they want, they've told us they will kill themselves. Therefore, we must bend to their will and let them do as their influencers have told them to. What a fucking funny old world we live in. Well, this is, I'll just put it to you what she said. No, it's 13 seconds, and it's like, context is a thing, but it's like, look at the statement. Is context a thing, or is this just a statement that can stand on its own as to be something that's incredibly mean-spirited, like morbid to say? Let's have a listen.
And actually, evidence from other jurisdictions shows very clearly that coercion tends to happen the other way. What tends to happen is families are saying to the person who might really feel that they want to take the choice of an assisted death, they try to stop them from doing it. And actually, evidence
again
from other jurisdictions shows very clearly that coercion tends to happen the other way. What tends to happen is families are saying to the person who might really feel that they want to take the choice of an assisted death, they try to stop them from doing it. And actually,
something fucking morbid about her, isn't there? As to say, most recent in my circle of buddies, suicide to strike us, is a guy I've known since I was 5 from primary school, who I've still exchange words with him to this day on the Facebook. See him walking about, always say hello, always catch up. He's an old friend, a friend that I've known since primary school, and we've never been at odds with each other. I'm a year older than him at school, and we went through the same schools. And he's one of these who went from being a kid who was lit too small, who, say, a footballer, who just could not compete on the same pitch as me, because he just wasn't strong enough, wasn't quick enough, wasn't athletic enough, not smart enough, to going in the army and coming back like 7 years later, the same size as me, and not as quick, but incredible, powerful, strong, and much better, much more confident. He'd been most of the time, a lot of the time he spent in the army was playing football. And he's back, and it's like, all right, everything I said about you that you were short of to be a great player back when you were 16, somehow the army's turned you into a fucking monster through physical training, through PT. So I'm like, I look at him and I'm like, this guy's not naturally an athlete. Not naturally, because he wasn't as a kid. He just wasn't there. Slow, small. And the military showed him he could become this big fella, become this big strong lad, become this big durable guy. So it's a matter. I had him, managed him as a footballer, and it's like, mate, it's like you're as good as anyone in your position, but as a winger, your crossing, your end product is just shit. You're far better than that. It's like, it doesn't matter what I tell you, because in that fucking moment, you don't want to deliver a shit pass, a shit cross that the keeper just picks off every time, or you're not meaning to knock it into touch. So it's like, there's nothing I can tell you that'll fucking fix your fucking no end product. So I said to the guy, it's like, right, mate, I'm fucking sick of you with this wasteful. I'm like, just shoot. What? You see, yeah, you got instructions as to whenever you'd be thinking of going for that line and getting a cross in, just shoot. It's like, just shoot. It's like your instincts for scoring goals far better than your ability to cross. So I just encouraged him. I'm like, you're a left-sided player. It's like, stop trying to get wide and just look to score goals. And whenever you are the only one on the pitch who's got the right to, whenever you fancy having a shot, you can have a shot. Your instincts as a goal scorer far strip out your instincts as a footballer. You're a different kind of beast. So we gave him his nickname, Machine. Right? Machine. It's like, so from now on, we call Craig Machine, right? And it's like, why are we calling him the Machine or the Machine? It's like, that's just his nickname now. He's got instructed. He says, the notion of it is, he can't fucking think. But he can't half score goals. He doesn't even have to. When he doesn't think, when he's not weighing something up, when he's not trying to be clever, when he's not trying to be cute, when he's not thinking, he just scores goals and scores goals and scores goals and scores goals. And he got me about, we won't league, he got me about 17 goals from left wing. He scored a lot of goals. And he had a run of scoring about 7 games in a row. And I'm like, okay, right, Machine. It's like, from now on, it's just Machine. And just continue to just be the Machine. Never try and do anything else. Don't bring thinking into your game, because you just already know what to do. Your body knows what to do. You just do it. Just do it. Just stop thinking. Stop reacting. So it's like, I got a load out of him as a player. I got as a guy who coached him, who's not much older than him. I had to quit because me injured in a few different ways and bad heart. Couldn't do the running no more. I had to find another way of doing it. So I started managing it, and it's a matter. That's man management. That's how to do it. That's actually how to get the best out of someone. And it's not, I want you to practice harder. It's like, stop doing that you don't do well, and instead just do what you do really well. And you've got no responsibility for that bullshit. Do as I say. I want you just, whenever you get an eye to shoot, you shoot. And was born Machine. And there is no more danger. He still plays now. He retired for about 5-6 years. Came back because he's fit. And he's playing now, 49. He's playing like veterans games. And they're a higher standard of football than people younger, because they're all shit now. They don't play as much. They're not as conditioned. They're not as good on the ball. They don't have the skill level. So that's a good level. He's playing a good level at game at age 49. Against other guys who can play and have took care of themselves. And it's like, he plays at left back mostly these days, but he still scores loads of goals. It's like, go scored again at weekend. What do you do? Oh, chip keeper from halfway line. It's like, well, if it's on, right? So talk about this fellow. Got word about the same time as I had my heart attacks. His son, his youngest son, had committed suicide. No one ever been so surprised. There must have been, obviously, it's a bad one. It opens a kind of rift as to where, or suddenly people are speculating in the hall, and you can't not do, and it's devastating. It's absolutely devastating for those that everyone around it, because of the question, obviously the questions raised as to why feel the need to. And then it's like a recent one I've had where I hadn't seen him for years, but old friend of mine who killed himself, hung himself. His brother recently had done the same, and it'd be 25 years later that his brother committed suicide and left the note as well. There's nothing as painful because of the questions it raised. I don't know the lad who killed himself, but I know his mum and his dad. I know his granddad. I know his grandma. I know his aunties. I know his uncles. I know his great uncles. I know the whole family of them. And it's like they've had as much bad shit go down for them in their lives between them, that it just goes on and on and on as to where they've been through some shit between them as to where with poverty and with fucking madness, and it's in them and it's amongst them, but it's like that'd be a terrible blow on top of what was already, you know, a struggle, and it's devastating for everybody. So I'm not, it doesn't affect me. I didn't know the guy, and it'd be a matter of, well, I can't help it. You can feel bad about it, but I feel bad for his dad. I feel so bad for his dad. Because, you know, it doesn't matter if he was the best dad in the world. Doesn't matter if he fucked up at every turn. There were no fucking malice. There were no vindictiveness. There was no question as to where things weren't as they might seem, and thinking about it and thinking any way of processing it in your mind will fucking mess you up. The only game you've got to play is you have to make friends in your imagination with that lost person, and you have to carry them with you. You have to make friends with the memory. You have to let it, in that when people say you have to let it go, right? And they, oh well, yeah, thanks. So I'll snap my fingers and say, no, that's what it means. It matters. Make friends with them monsters. Face it, that's the person you know is still alive with you. It's the only way of dealing with it. So you have to carry them with you as a friend. You have to carry them with you. It's the only way I ever found out coping with a suicide like that. It's the only way I ever worked out how to cope with it. You have to make friends with the person they were. You have to know you're going to forever carry their demons. So you have to make it so their demons are friendly and familiar and helpful. That's what letting go is. But it's saying it, and there's doing it, and there's feeling it. You got to see the sense of it. You got to feel it lift. It's a big deal. It fucks people up. People committing suicide and playing the game of I'm going to kill myself. More people say by about a degree of 100 that they're going to kill themselves than actually do it. People who crack on mostly that they're going to, or they use it as a threat, don't. It's a good enough game to play to get what they want. It's a terrible way of living your life to live in that suicidal ideation. And when anyone ever brings it up, you feel it. You know, you carry it with you. And you carry it with you because it's a matter of, well, someone you once knew thought that was a good idea as to how to get out of it. And I'm not convinced that it is. I think it cheats. It cheats God of a laugh. To me, it's an undoable because it cheats God of a laugh. So who do I? If there is something beyond, who and what do I answer to? And it's like God wouldn't be so pleased that I'd just cheated him with such a good laugh. Me, it's like you always produce a few laughs. So it was never easy, and it's not straightforward, and often it doesn't make any sense. But you give us a good laugh, and it's a matter of you've robbed me of a good laugh. I think there's something dark and comedic about the notion of suicide, as to who's the enemy here. You see, where I'm saying that the trans folk, they used to forever be threatening to kill themselves. Now they just flat out threaten to kill each other. It's like, have they crossed? Have they become more sensible? Have they become less selfish? Have they suddenly become less selfish? As to the games that people play. You know, I used to, and I haven't heard from him for years, and he's still alive, because he was thinking he was dying. I used to have a guy who used to pay me to talk to me every time he felt like killing himself. He's still alive. And he weren't well either. But this creeping notion of this suicidal, he thought in the first instance, because he lived in France, right? He thought that getting a gun might make it go away. So he got himself a gun. And then he used to have a drink. He'd be on the internet, and then he'd have a drink, and then he'd have his gun out, and then I'd get a Skype call. And sometimes be 2 a.m. Used to do a lot in them days with people in the States, so I'd often be up till 5. So regularly it was untrue. And I used to be up till 5 and then getting up at 11, 12 o'clock. But it'd be a matter of I was up till 5 because people I were talking to were in the States. And they're midnight. They get to go to work the next day. And I sleep till lunchtime. But yeah, I used to do a lot of work with people in America. So I'd often be up at that sort of time. So I'd get it where I get a call. Terry. You alright, mate? John, I'm sat here and we used to just talk it through every time. Quite often, you're listening. He needs someone to talk to. He just needs to be listened to. But his place he sets off is, I want to kill myself. That I want to kill myself almost... that was a thing with Grannon. Stole something from me. It was how to manage suicidal ideation. Stole it from me, Grannon, and then saw that I'd passed it on as his. Acceptance is how you deal with it. Sets you free from it. Totally counterintuitive as to how to deal with it. It's like, well, you need to die, don't you? But not die. You need to sit there and face the repercussions of it, and yeah, let's talk about what the world will be like with you not in it. It not be a it not be a thing that drive you more towards it. It'd be something that always bring you back from it. It's like hit it head on. I had a saying, I can't remember it now. It's like it's been deleted from my mind. I tried like a saying. So no, you embrace it. Hit it head on. You take it on. Just like take it on willingly. Take it on. Except you've given up. Decide to do it and feel the release of the pressure as to right now I've given up. Suddenly you can think clearly again. So I used to sit and talk to him about mostly the misery we're causing his missus with this talk, this I want to die. The misery, the downright misery every day wasn't fair and it was totally selfish. And then also that you then leave a cloud forevermore over the rest of your family. So you will go on, you will exist, you will fucking haunt every family occasion. You'll strain every single fucking relationship between every single one of your kids. Fuck knows what will become of your wife without you. You're having now drove around the bend with your endless moping and talking about wanting to die. In the end, right? I found myself in a bit of shit money wise. Where for about 10 years I'd been at the bottom of £1,000 overdraft that I'd never fucking resolved ever, and changes came into how the way bank charges work. That would mean that, oh my God, these guys are going to eat me alive. So I actually talked about it on my YouTube channel and stuff like shit. The way that I just broke into it talking about it much like this. And he picked up on it and he says, how much do you need? I'll lend it you. So I need £1,000. He says, right, pay me back £50 a month. So I did it and I paid him back £50 a month. In the end, I came into a few quid over something and I gave him the last 4 payments and wrapped it up. Give me 200 to finish it off. And to the penny, paid him back. Do you know what's the alarming thing about that deal as to why it was such a great, super good fucking deal, right? He had medical problems. In that year and a bit, it took me a few years to pay that off. It took me nearly 2 years to pay it off. He's still alive. And his health got better and his outlook changed. And he bought himself time to come to terms with his own place in it. Understand that he's the thing we can work on. He's the thing that's at fault here. He's the thing that's lost its sense, lost its grip, lost its faith. He bought him enough time as to where now it's a matter of I never have to hear from him, and it's great you don't. Because the thing is, it's like I'm the guy he talks to. I was the guy he was talking to when he wanted to kill himself. Doesn't want to kill himself anymore. Doesn't ever need to speak to me again. Can send me a happy birthday on my birthday on my social media. And why else? For what other means is there to talk to me? I'd be someone who could potentially even reopen the wound. To some degree. It's like you bury me with it. I'm fine. I've done my job. You're not a member of my family. You were someone who were paying me for a service. And in the end, you're still in the world, aren't you? You're still plodding on. So cheated death. I helped that guy cheat death 12 times, 15 times. There's only ever one reason for getting the call from that guy. Was that he had the gun in his hand and he wanted to kill himself. What did he need? He needs someone to talk to about it who'd be like, who's there to talk them out of it. But listen to him. You're not going to do it. Not making little of his despair. Talk about it. Health problems as well. Physical problems, mental problems at the same time. 2 hand in hand, who knows? But yeah. In a lot of pain, physically. on medication that's like whacked out stuff, and it's like the whacked out medication he were on be something that bring on this suicidal tendency as well, as to where other people might be on that stuff and laughing their asses off watching cartoons, but this other guy gets him to thinking about what's gone wrong, how things ended up the way they are, and he takes him to that place. And it's a matter of, yeah, you have this. It's like, yes, mate, you've lived a bit clean. If you'd have been smoking weed half your fucking life like I have, you'd have a tolerance to the psychological effects of very decent, strong narcotics, which is what the doctors are giving you. Say, I've been told recently, in recent times, of mine, that my heart is. I'm not on the path to recovery because they don't know what's wrong with me yet, but my heart's gotten a lot stronger over the last 6 months. Much stronger. And it's like, why? And it's like, because any side effects of the heavy medication I'm on, I'm negating, and I ain't got a problem with it. There are those who aren't so lucky. Unusual that they don't know what's really wrong with me, but the medications they've given me have stabilised the worst of my heart problem. Stabilised it. Not fixed it. Stabilised it. It's like, oh my fucking God, that is something, isn't it? Ha. It's like, you're not getting rid of me. It's like, we're going to have the big genetics conflab in a few weeks' time. It's about 2 weeks away. First thing they want from me is as much information as possible as I can tell them about my lineage. It's going to be funny. It's going to be funny when they open that fucking DNA archive to see, the next level of testing on JC is a matter of, right, we're going to have a look at this guy's fucking genome. It's like they will find out how this great big malfunctioning fucking psycho operates, won't they? It'll be fantastic. I can't wait for it. And they'll be like, do you know that you share like most of the same ancestors as like the king? And I'm like, yeah, I know. It's like, you found a reason to live before, why not find a reason to live? You can find a reason to live today. You just need reminding. You need to be tricked into thinking instead of feeling, and disappearing into a black hole of sorrow that just ends up in, it's just in essence a waste of time. But at this moment in time, you have got a large section of the population of this country in fucking despair because it makes them feel, it kind of suits them to feel that way. Part of the problem they've got, all these people, mental illness, is this ability to fall into hysterics, histrionics, and despair and desperation, and you start putting ideas in their head that they're all having the money cut, and that this woman wants to write some pretty wide open to interpretation laws on assisted suicide, and they're thinking the government, the reactions to their doctors and the government will be things like, I'm not taking any notice of you, you want me dead. And infinitely giving ammunition to people who play this card, play this, I'll kill myself, I'll kill myself, I'll kill myself. You basically just set them all up to be coming out saying, I'll kill myself. They have. It's like, is there ever been such a campaign as hers, and what the government are doing at the same time to promote suicide and suicidal ideation amongst all of the mentally ill people who are on the sick? I rang up a mate of mine the other day for his take on this. And he's got common sense. He's not a man of words like my good self, but he has got common sense. And I says to him, now that this were the same take, he's a pensioner now, so he's not. He used to be on the sick. He's had cancer, so he spent a lot of time on the sick. Spent a lot of time in pain, in hospital, all sorts. So he's someone who's been on the sick, but now he's a pensioner, so he's on the pension. But he still gets extra. He still gets extras by way of being like sick. It's like he's a durable fucker, right? And he's got experience at dealing with the state as to the games they play with benefits. And they've never demoralised him, but they've demoralised others. And he gets it, and he just says to me, "Oh, well, that's pretty straightforward. They're trying to kill off all the alcoholics. They're trying to get them to top themselves or go off the edge." So that's what they're doing. And then he go back to say, yeah, every couple of years, no matter what the government is, there's a campaign of this kind of gaslighting aimed towards the most mentally ill. And it's just to demoralise them even more and see if they can encourage a few more of them to kill themselves. And his notion of it was this whole round of kicking the poor, kicking the most vulnerable, and going after the nutters, not understanding the nutters are dangerous and cause lots of trouble and create work for people, right? He's like, every time they do this, they must have people who are sick and crazy die because they lose hope and get demoralised and they stop. They stop fighting and they die. And then you get the alcoholics who, at this moment in time, they're no worse off. So they've got a few quid in their pocket. So now they're drinking an extra bottle of cider a week. And that'd be making matters worse. So my common sense pal says, yeah, it's the government. They do it every few years. They have a spate at winding people up, see if they can coax them into killing themselves. And I sat and listened to his reasoning, and I'm like, I can't disagree with your angle. Whether or not that's the intention, that is the effect. That is what's going on. That is the game that's being played. That is the dog whistle that's being whistled. It's how they respond. It's whether the mentally ill have stepped up from I'll kill myself to I'll fucking kill you, like many of the trans have. I'll kill myself. No. Now it's we'll kill you. We'll destroy your property. So you never know. Maybe those of the mentally ill bunch, right? Sometimes when pressed, they'll pop off properly and have themselves like a dark enlightenment, like your first time you ever took acid, and you're like, whoa. So this is what actually achieving something must really feel like. Like, wow. This is what it feels like to be cool. It's what it feels like to be important, having achieved something big. It's like you take that chemical and it actually tricks the system as that's what's happened. And you're like, wow, so you're having the best day of your life. Damn. Yeah, so they say LSD do you damage. You see, fucking right it will, yeah. Have you feeling better than you felt if you just won your first fucking England cap? And to win your first England cap, you've probably been really, really trying hard for about 10 years. Whereas take some drugs, it's like, straight up, there you go. That's what it feels like. You're not producing anything with your drugs that your brain can't actually produce itself. It's like you've just put some poisons in there that's triggered something. So they say that acid flashback's bad. So yeah, acid flashbacks will take you into a situation where in life you are in a genuine euphoric state. You could be like, this is brilliant, this is a great place, I'm having a great time, and everything's going real well, and then you get this terrible deja vu sinking feeling that you can't explain. And it's because you felt like this before, and it's because you felt like this when you were whacked out of your fucking head on acid, and it just deflates you. So it does, that's how it affects you. That's how it affects you for good. It basically gives you a false ceiling of what it's possible to feel, and broadens your horizons to what actually would be grand achievement, like almost once in a lifetime, life-defining sensations that one might experience. You'd be like Joe Rogan on that fucking DMT, and just taking something that just takes you to it, thinking you can learn something from that place, and it's like, no, you can't, because you're really taking on something there that you have not earned. It's like suicide makes sense in a world of people who fall into that temptation, or have had the dream shattered by it, or even been people who end up becoming people who chase sensations, and they end up making short-sighted decisions in everything they do. I can understand the despair in the world that leads to people to feel like, you know, giving up. But it's like, you can't give up. Or you've got a choice. It's like you can kill yourself, and you can destroy everyone who's ever loved you. Really, really hurt them bad. Really hurt them bad. But you won't feel pain no more. But you won't be in the scene. But your last act in life be like an arrow to the heart of everyone whose life you've ever touched or affected. It's like it's to commit suicide is a self-seeking, self-selecting psychic missile, a weapon of massive destruction. The number of people who, it doesn't matter who you are, really, well, it matters for if one or two people, but if anyone watching this video, more people will be sad to hear the story of your end than they would be glad to see you gone. There are those in the world who tip the scale in that regard as to where people would cheer the fuck out of them. Well done, like Hitler killing himself, and they're like, well, okay. You saved us a fortune and a lot of listening to your nonsense. You've saved us the trouble of working out what to do with you. Thank you. We could use the economic bump. So there are exceptions to that, but in most cases, the world despair at your absence. Those who you matter to will be, many of them not realise how much you really mattered until you were gone, and that'd be an eternal punishment you can put up on them, and that'd be in some regards something that they can't control. So if you want to hurt everyone who ever loved you or thought about you in a good way or thought better of you in one way or another, you kill yourself. And if someone who's your friend comes to you and says, I'm in that way desperate and depressed as I'm thinking of just ending it, I've got some pills, you talk to that person. Because if you didn't, you would, and they did, you would never forgive yourself. You carry that for the rest of your life. You wouldn't realise you just sinned terribly until after the fact, and then you can say what you like, it and have an effect on you. It'd fuck your life up one way or another. And listen to this bitch speak.
The evidence from other jurisdictions shows very clearly that coercion tends to happen the other way. What tends to happen is families are saying to the person who might really, really feel that they want to take the choice of an assisted death, they try to stop them from doing it. And actually, evidence from other jurisdictions shows...
It's like, you're thinking there's way beyond human, isn't it? You see what she's getting at? There is a message there. You can see what she's getting at, but it's a matter of... You use the word coercion. It's where the word coercion is being banded. And she comes back with, oh, it goes the other way. You call that coercion? Coercion? Coercion's got a negative connotation. There's many other words you can use to describe what we're talking about here. There's better words than coercion, isn't there? But she's picked up on the word coercion, and so it's the opposite. People get talked out of killing themselves when they might really, really want to die. It's like, you fucking monster. It's like, the question is, that the question's been raised. This suicide bill, people be coerced into wanting to kill themselves. How would someone go about that possibly? You cut the benefits off. Tell them that their crippling mental illnesses are just feeling a bit sad. And make light of their mortifying illness. That's how you push people towards killing themselves. That's how you coerce people towards the grave. That's how you do it. You do it large scale by fucking with people's money and their heads out in the world who are actually affected deeply by this bullshit. And then when someone put it to you, well, there could be coercion, like what's going on like what's going on everywhere, she comes back with this.
And actually, evidence from other jurisdictions shows very clearly that coercion tends to happen the other way. What tends to happen is families are saying to the person who might really, really feel that they want to take the choice of an assisted death, they try to stop them from doing it. And actually, evidence from other jurisdictions shows very...
It's obviously a response to this guy, so what we need is we need the clip that's longer, because it's probably more damning. I know something about the craziest of the craziest of the crazy. You just lit a fuse in practically all of them. And you follow up as to this is an answer to a serious question about coercing people to kill themselves. You're like, huh? It's for any of you out there that might find yourself triggered with the talk of like suicide. Suicide is not painless. Do you know the song? Suicide is painless. Famous is the theme tune from a film called MASH. It's not meant to be taken literally. It's whimsical. It's a morbid joke. Suicide is extremely painful. You might want to die in your mind, but your body certainly does not. And the fight that your body will put up to survive will be a far worse experience than dying. If you've got any strength, it's beyond your control. If you've got any strength left in your body will fight with everything it's got, and you won't be in control of that. Your body will fight with everything it's got to survive. There's parts of your elements of yourself you do not control. So to attempt to kill oneself is often a case to in the end seriously injure and hurt oneself and end up in a far worse situation than you were in the first place when you decided to take your own life, and then you become a bigger problem for everyone around you. You become a bigger concern. You're not a problem, concern, like alarm. You then become a bigger and better source of work for the government as well. Being a matter of do not partake in the exercise of giving these people what they fucking want. Ever. The ultimate gift you can give to these morbid fucking cunts we've now got in power would be for you to take your own life and them to say, yeah, whatever, chavs, gammon, whatever. And just, okay, that's somebody else who isn't taking any money. Next. Obviously, I'm being flippant. But I'm only using the part of my brain that knows how to think like someone who has decided that the world's got it in for them. I am trying to be helpful. Right, we've seen some shit recent times. I'm telling you, it's like close to my thinking here is certainly that Axel Ruda Cabana situation. What was he if he wasn't one of these nutters? His actions prove that he was someone exceptionally fucking dangerous, who they knew about and they couldn't handle, so they sent him home and pretended like the problem was going away, and then it came back, stabby. I'm saying you've laid the fucking pipe work for there to be another fucking 20 of them. The paperwork says they've got 85,000 schizophrenics signed on. They're sick. 85,000. Right? I'm saying 20 of them will kick off. And it'd be a disaster. It'd be 20 disasters. You realise just how dangerous one person can be, given the right circumstances and choices taken. How really dangerous one person can be. It's like these guys have worked out, these guys in their own way have worked out what someone like me who's like, hey, we can do a lot of good here if we can talk some sense. People don't have to do what you say, but if you can give them their objections, the reasons why it's a bad idea, they might come up with a better idea. I don't do good ideas. My ideas suck, right? But my objections to bad ideas are very good. So I understand that I can play a part in the whole big game by coming up with not the best question or the best idea, the best objection. So it's like, I'm in it, I'm staying. I can always make a valid objection. I know something of this thinking game that you claim to be playing. And tell you why your idea sucks. And I can always point to a negative outcome that's just a statistical certainty based on what I know. And I'm telling you, you're going to have a problem with people popping off who know about this long enough, having played this game of holding a gun to their own head. When that worm turns and they understand, hey, everyone will be listening to me when I'm fucking showing them what I'm capable of. No one will be laughing and taking me unseriously after I've got out and done a few murders. People will suddenly start listening to me and taking me seriously. The same message as sent by the real message sent by the guy who killed that Kim Ledbetter's sister. Same thinking. It's like, unleash that. And let's see what they call it. Tell you what, Axel Ruda Cabana, when they're saying it should have been Dakota Turret. No, you just dumb it in the fucking head. It's like, no, that's an homegrown thing. That's a nutter. It's like, my good self on this corner of the internet has been warning the world about these guys for a very, very long time as to where eventually they'll put two and two together. The state will play a hand in creating this beast that learns how to hurt the state. It's just baked into it. Better target selection to get one's job done. And it's like, it won't be so long before the crackpots, and I will just say that I'm not trying to give anyone ideas because I don't ever think of anything that hasn't already been thought of 1,000 times. I ain't no original thinker. There'll be somebody out there who's putting together the fucking methodology these days as to where it's a matter of Oh, drones. Oh, yes, those things. And it'd be a matter of, what's the best use of that weapon? Those of you who've been watching my channel learned the answer to this question about 7 years ago. Oh, you use it to burn someone's house to the fucking ground. That's what it's for. That's its primary use. When it gets weaponized, the suicide incendiary drone will become the great terrorist weapon of our fucking age. I'm saying that when people set out to say fuck you to the state, right, when they're thinking in that way straight, where they've committed themselves to doing an atrocity, they're going to reach for arson because that's the nature of their way of thinking. They'll want to attempt the crime by which there is a way of walking away and understanding, going away, start to do that level of research, come to learn the things that I know that people don't fucking really know about fire, having, you know, spent some time weighing it up, learning about it. Like, how do you build a fire that will burn fucking steel and concrete? You get people who are working on I know the answer to that question, but you'll have those out in the world looking into it, thinking that is the perfect crime. I can walk away from that. Before it really gets blazing, I can be fucking half a mile walking away, finding myself a great spot from where to watch it, where I'm miles away from wherever it started. You get that kind of fucking thinking bouncing around when people have decided, oh, I'm going to strike back against my masters. And you'll see terrorism. We've seen it already. That Axel Rudakabana, I called it when I talked about it at the time. It's like, it's terrorism, but it's not Islamic terrorism. It's his own. This guy's his own church. This guy's his own creed. This guy's his own cult. I get worried about people who are in that sort of state, who've got themselves interested in notions of voodoo. That's a big problem. Certainly a big problem that's been imported from Africa is the voodoo thing of it. The juju. I put a bit of study into that Rudakabana situation, and so did Vaknin. I had an exchange of words with him. And he was like, yeah, this... it's like, this is a... We know what sort of creature this is, but how's this one got away with this? How's this one got as far as doing this? And what are we looking at? So a guy like Vaknin, who's a psychoanalyst, he finds it as curious as I do. And it's like, yeah, I'm watching this very closely. It's like, I'm the only one in the world who will tell you that the big danger of that guy is that he's not been warped by some ideology as to where we like to lump him in with a group of people as to say, well, he's part of this. Not to look straight at it. I'm like, I look for this guy having committed a blood magic ritual, like a really fucking big one. I look at this guy as someone who knows about juju. And that being fused in this insanity, I swear this guy he's made the world stop and start at his command. He's become the centre of the universe for just a few days. To prove something. In essence, in some regards, almost like a dark light bringer. And that just be plainly his only mission, to show the people what the power of one is and what it can do. And it's like, you start to wear that up, it's like this guy's he's not on his own. He is of a group. He is of a kind. Who was he trying to impress with that act? Who was he trying to impress? What club did he hope to join? It's like, ask questions like that. Get yourself on his fucking computer. You ain't finding Andrew Tate, are you? Andrew Tate be almost a saint or a poster boy to the real scum of the earth. People who are ideating, doing mass fucking harm, and the kind of thing that they consume on the internet be harm, self-harm, torture. So like there's like these guys popping off. He in his way could be seen as some kind of dark prophet. Almost because it's new, it can come across like a biblical nasty. You actually reaching back, running home to mama and calling him a biblical nasty, and that's because he was created by the internet. A greater mind or a greater set of minds have been able to make an impression on his imagination, much larger than you can imagine. Scope or a group of people. There are those in the world who've been following me on YouTube or even earlier than that, before YouTube really became a thing, who've been following me, watched every single one of my videos religiously, and every now and then I'll come across someone who'll meet up with me in a supermarket and say, I've been watching you for like 12 years. I'm like, okay, you're still here. I've not led you into any harm. I haven't taught you any really bad tricks, have I? There's something I used to have on my conscience for years, was that me having a good sit down with someone who was of low character, really not really understanding just how low they were, had actually shared knowledge with them that would make them far more effective con men. And actually carried that with me, as to say, he is now exploiting people and fucking people, just ripping people off now. And I could have stopped him. And I didn't have to teach the guy. Yeah, about the abandon all hope strategy, wasn't it? It was what it was called, the suicidal ideation way of dealing with it, is to abandon all hope. You feel suicidal, you should abandon all hope. It sounds counterintuitive, but it works. Abandoning all hope just puts out the fire. Just remember those things, those people who are like, oh, I'm at the end of it. Abandon all hope. It's the hope that's fucking with you. It's the letdown of having put too much stock into something and feeling let down. It's the betrayal of it that's hurting you. So if you abandon all hope, understanding that it was hope that put you in despair, your expectations were too high, you must learn. So be more selective who you give your faith and sympathy. Learn the lesson. You can stop these episodes from happening if you understand what triggers them, and it'd be a matter of you did. You put too much hope in something, too much hope in someone, too much hope in an outcome, and it'd be a matter of it's now the hope fucking with you. It's the broken dream. You abandon all hope, and one will start to feel human again. Now, I taught that to Grannon, and he put it in every book he's ever fucking wrote. And he attributes it to a wise man once told me, and he never names me. He just puts, a wise man once told me, abandon all hope. There's chapters of his fucking books about it. His discovery, he attributes it to some Far Eastern bullshit. It's like, nah, that's actually originally something that I came up with, a strategy. It's my strategy. It's my strategy for suicidal ideation. My strategy. I shared it with the world, and he claimed it as his own. A wise man once told me. Yeah, what an adventure. But what a fucking place we've landed. For all these years, it's like we've got this exchange because we can see the other side of it. There's a question of coercion. You know how it can coerce someone into wanting to be suicided. You tell an alcoholic that you're taking all his fucking money away. Done. Suddenly, the same guy who's, like an alcoholic and suffering with something like diabetes, because that's the thing. That's the craziest thing you'll ever come across in your life, and you see it every day. That diabetes is rife in this country. Loads of people got diabetes. I haven't got diabetes, no trace of it. Can't live in this system. But there are loads who've got it, right? And they're still boozing. And they're like calorie counting, what they're eating. They watch what they're eating, but then they're off to a pub and it's like, well, look, they're bringing 16 cans home from the supermarket. And not even measuring it because they're alcoholics. It's like you want to bang on their doors. You want to get their attention. Just cut the money off. And suddenly, we find out as to what Mr. Alcoholic's hiding with that. What he's masking with all that booze. We find out. And it comes out. You take his money off him, who he really is. The character who's being managed by all this alcohol that's keeping him placated is out. It's like, would you like, they talk with the government with this horrible voice. It's like this bitch who's talking up suicide is also someone who'd fight tooth and nail with every last drop of blood to fight domestic violence. It's like, I predict domestic violence, the likes of which you've never seen, start to manifest when people start to get their benefits cut. Domestic violence, the likes of which you have never seen, will erupt. When mummy can't get her cans of lager, daddy can't get his bitter. Bitter. Like anyone really drinks bitter anymore. Dad can't get his cans of Guinness. Gets really angry at the kids suddenly. Bit shorter than he might be. Bit off. Bit different. You bring home the nightmare of the kids of what it is when your parents are dry alcoholics. Your parents being alcoholics are one thing, right? It means that you'll have an anything goes attitude towards drink. Because they've got one. Don't even see it. You put kids in the house with dry alcoholics and they get to see a whole new side of daddy that's real fucking frightening. That's usually under wraps and able to be controlled and able to be, just leave it alone. Suddenly you bring poverty into that household where everyone's used to having a drink. And them kids get the full treatment of the alcoholic parent. They get to see the fucked up shell. Well, usually the real danger in that household is the kids seeing you paralytic, drunk, where you can't even stand. That'd be a problem. Never let your kids see you paralytic drunk. Should be a reason why all parents never get really pissed. Is that the kids might see you like a fucking zombie all over the fucking place. Don't let it happen. But I tell you, those who haven't got boundaries like that, or those who've just been able to hide the being a big drunk from the kids, because there's always drink, and they never see you when you're so bad and like. Let them see you when you're off it. Let them see you when you've got no money. Let me see you when choices are being made not to feed the kids as much as you did, so you're still drinking, because that's what happens. It's like if these people's feckless cuts, if they cause that in one household, they're cunts. One household. Because it's on the cards. It's just there to be seen. There's a straight line to it. I'm saying, all right, how many dysfunctional alcoholic and drug addled households have you got in this list of the great unwashed who you don't need anymore? Oh, 250,000. Oh, 250,000. What are the outcomes like for kids in them environments? Just ask your own experts. If you're going to fuck 250,000 alcoholics out of his beer money, right? How many kids are going to be affected by that? Because we know that your own people will tell you those guys are dicks. How many kids are going to be directly affected? Come on. Be honest about it, and you have to say, right, okay, you've picked a good one there. The answer is every single fucking one of them. It's like you're talking just by the average number of family, 2.4 kids, let's see. But we'll wind it back to 2, shall we? 500,000 kids psychologically scarred by a new nature of dad or a new nature of mother. Like, oh, well played. Well fucking played. The kids that go through that, they have the worst outcomes on this planet when the house becomes the broken home. Because that's what you're going to see. You're going to see broken homes, and you're going to see hundreds of thousands of them. The situation as is now not good suddenly get markedly worse. And then you get yourself the same problems as we've seen before as to little girls walking the street seeking attention, in some regards seeking revenge on her fucking parents, find themselves in the hands of the wrong people. You create more of that work, you create more of then work for those who are already tasked with managing the mental health of these children, and it'd be a matter of counsellor in all kinds of kids' business now. Imagine them fuckers where they currently see it as like just an infinite source of work, and when it gets a bit hairy they just leave it. Right, that's what it is. That's how it turns out. For them to then be overwhelmed by, we've got another few hundred cases here. It'd be a matter, who's paying for this? This is backwash from that great big cut in the benefit budget. They're not increasing our budgets, are they, in order to deal with this extra work? No, they're cutting them as well. Okay, so how long's the backlog? How long's the waiting list for giving these people some attention? Well, it's a year. So it's all been reported to us and we've got a duty of care, but in a year's time, that family could be all dead in a house fire or something crazy like that. And when that happens, is it going to be on us? Oh, no. No. We'll deny all knowledge of that, even though how long is it taking to screen someone today who's flipped the fuck out needing a proper psychological evaluation? If they haven't broken the law, right, I'd expect you waiting a year to get anything like a psychological diagnosis. The diagnosis is not what makes you crazy, it's the way you behave. But certain people actually they're that fucking crazy and dangerous. They need lifting out of society and putting on the demic list of the sick for good. Placating. Years waiting to get attention and being a fucking crackpot. Useless. That's what sees people murdered by fucking idiots in the street. It's like there's a whole fucking class of people who do a bit of broadcasting in this country. Just haven't got the first clue about how dangerous people can be. But that's me going over old terrain. But can you believe it? Some people out in the world coerce people out of killing themselves when they want to die. What scumbags they are to use coercion. Not to give someone the fucking gift of to be a real friend to somebody when it's hard. Not that. You don't call it something admirable, you call it coercion. You don't call it saving your friend from making a terrible mistake. and it being free of charge, and something, a gift you can give to someone, and just restarting the fire, rebooting the system. No, you're guilty of coercion now. It's like, these fucking people aren't qualified to legislate over humans. They're not. Because they're just not experienced enough to understand the repercussions of their actions. Like, they've lived in some kind of life where they've been able to destroy things and then just look at the wreckage out of the rear view mirror and say, oh, something's happened. Like people who make mistakes driving and cause accidents behind them and go, well, I wonder what must have happened there. Oh, there was a big pile up behind me. Just walk away.